What's good, folks? How y'all doing today? It's a beautiful day in New York. I'm glad to be back. Fire Squad 11 channel. Fire Squad Radio. Excuse me, the Grace Radio. That was my old group, Fire Squad. That was me and my cousin, but he didn't have the same ambition like me to stay committed for years to this music, man. This music business is crazy. You either sign yourself over or struggle from the bottom to try to get some viral music. I got a couple viral songs on SoundCloud, but I still haven't got a call from the record label. But Lil Nas X, that's trash, that just takes trap and mixes it with country, is over here, has a #1 hit. Come on, man. Man, unrealistic. They put these songs in those places. They pay for these hits. Remember back in the day, you heard the label buying back the CD? That's why the first release was always really a lot of records sold, because they buy back a lot of the CDs back in the day, the first week, just to inflate the numbers. And they still do that with streaming and everything. They inflate the numbers to make it look more than they are, and shit, streaming is crazy. That's like still watering down music and devaluing the music worth. It's crazy that you really don't make too much money off of CDs. Back in the day, you only made 30 cents a record, with everything else that was involved with the music business and all that. And now streaming, you don't really make money, but you make money in touring and stuff like that. I heard Pharrell don't even make that much money from Pandora Happy. Like a $600 check for like 40 million plays, like that area. Like, come on, man. Anyways, I'm just giving you examples of how I think like society is like just making everything harder. We're put on this planet and in this position, especially if you're in America. Well, not America, even lower than America. It's like almost impossible to make it out of the situations you're in. You're already not even spoon fed with a wood spoon. You're spoon fed with nothing. You're throwing food at you, and hopefully you could catch something in the air. That's how I look as a metaphor as the world today, man. Like, cause it's just crazy out here. Like, taxes go up every year, rents go up every year. Like, is there a threshold? Like, the banking system just, is there a threshold? Like, we're just making money, like making up numbers, inflating. Everything's going up. Eventually, there has to be a point where it's like, really. Anyways, this video was gonna be more focused on how, like, we're living in like the Matrix, really, cause it's like you gotta understand, like, cause it's not in the sense of the movie like the Matrix, like where we're plugged into a computer and this is all visualization, fake imagery coming from a computer pumped into your brain. It's something like that. The Matrix is the computer, the internet, the TV. We're becoming the Matrix. We're infusing reality with the internet, with virtual reality. It's like transhumanism. That's basically what they're pushing, and it's like it's becoming realer and realer every day. Like a lot of things in Back to the Future was predicted, that Trump would be president. Biff, he owns a lot of casinos. That's like a metaphor for Trump. A hoverboard. A couple other things that I just can't think of them. Like the Twin Pikes Mall was like 9/11 symbolism and everything. And like the terrorist attack coming after them, and just you gotta read between the lines. This is really what we're doing here. We're reading between lines in movies, media, and just self-thought and observation. Believe none of what you see. No, believe none of what you heard and half of what you see, because even when you see it, it's not real. Just like I'm going to push this narrative. If you want to push the narrative of 12 terrorists took over, hijacked America, and brought down the towers in one day when Russia was trying to do that for 30 years in the Cold War and they couldn't do it. Shit, man. And Bin Laden family was tight with the Bushes, and they always wanted to push war for Iraq, and they never had a reason. Like, I was just watching a video where I saw Bill Clinton talk about weapons of mass destruction, almost the same word use, vocabulary use as when George Bush kept pushing weapons of mass destruction, we got to go Iraq, we got to get Saddam. Well, there's still terrorists, there's still bombs going off, and there's still crazy wars and violence going on everywhere. Wonder why. I thought Saddam was the one, Saddam Hussein, you know. And, you know, I found particularly crazy, like Obama puppet. He is a puppet, sorry to you guys. He's not real. All of a sudden, he came out of nowhere. Just look into it. It's crazy. He has almost the same name as Bin Laden, Osama Bin Laden, Barack Obama. It's crazy. Like, just the coincidence of the similarities between the names is crazy in itself. But anyway, but like, yeah, the Matrix, like, we're living in, like I feel like, just like Matt says, shout out to Matt, Quantum of Conscience, like, that it was a spell on 9/11. It was like, it changed the fabric of reality. Nothing has been the same between media, everyday life, cars, whatever you want, technology, it's all different. It's technology, and technology is just upping the stakes. It's moving so rapidly. I remember when I had 56K and I had to sign on to America Online. It took about 4 to 5 minutes, something like that. And technology is just growing insanely. Like I found robots creepy. Like one day, like one of these videos, I'm going to talk about technology and how it's like another threshold where it's like, really, like, I mean, technology is good, you know, for the growth of things, but also it could be used for harm. Like weapons, for instance, they're technology, and have put us down as a society. We don't need guns, we don't need weapons, we don't need wars. Don't let people think you do to control crazy people. Yes, we need to police people, but everyone should be able to police the world themselves. You know, and I know the world's crazy. We need, you know, professionals doing things like that, but we don't need them militarization of the police. It's just getting out of hand. They're just, like someone said, it's a perfect example. They're like bounty hunters. They sit on a fucking corner and they just ticket you. They wait for a seatbelt. Wow, good job, cops. You're keeping the crime low. You're really an example to society, ticketing for the state that we pay your taxes. And I get speeding tickets all the time. You know, my license has been suspended. I have to pay DMV for all these mistakes that I have made. I mean, it's crazy. Like, we're governed to the point where it makes you crazy. Like, but anyways, back to the Matrix, which we're always focused on. It's just the mental state we're in. We're living in a Matrix where no matter what people say on the media or what's in the news or newspapers, or there's no questioning. Just like Bush said, let us not read into these conspiracy theories about 9/11 that try to hide the official narrative or change the story or question. We got to question as a nation, and our Twin Towers went down. Our rights have been given up for this event that was supposedly done by Osama bin Laden and terrorists from Saudi Arabia. Like, it's like when you really go into it and you see that what happened afterwards and everything, it's like, wow, it's like you can't even like question it. Like even when you watch it to this day, like when Matt says, how come there's no camera footage of helicopters seeing the collapse from the view of the sky down? Like, because like I said, there's some inside that it comes out. It's like energy that destroys from the in to the out. Like if my heart was like had some kind of nuclear fusion and I imploded from out inside to out. It's crazy, but like they definitely put some kind of spell on us. It's like crazy, like, and nothing has been the same since. Like there's been a lot more shootings. There's been a lot more fear propaganda, fear marketing, and like I was saying to myself, like school shootings happened every 10, 20 years. Now it's like multiple times a year. It's like becoming the norm, and that's not what we want. We want the truth out there to realize and see it. Like even Nipsey's death, I questioned that. Like people are out there questioning that, and it really opened my mind to like, wow. Like the narrative, it's always division. It's always false hope for, you know, the black community or urban community. Like I see right through it. Just, you know, be aware of these things. Like George Bush, like his dad was, when he did a speech in, ironically, September 11th, I don't know if it was 10 years, I think it was 10 years before, he said, this is a new world order where the law of the land is followed by, but it's governed, not the law of the nature, law of the land. Like, it is crazy, and that happened 10 years ago. But what's crazy is that they pushed the narrative of the buildings collapsing straight down almost immediately after the collapse. Peep this. Mark Harley guy is talking about the collapse. Hold on, I gotta put my audio on. It'll take 2 seconds. Stick with me, guys. Okay, here we go. Check it out.
I live on the 43rd floor of a building which is
freelance, quotation, freelance, supposedly on scene from Fox News.
People talk about how it looked like
crisis actor, if you ask me.
This morning and saw both towers on fire and people on every street corner. It was like a movie, but you watched the planes hit the towers. I was watching with my roommate. It was approximately several minutes after the first plane had hit. I saw this plane come out of nowhere and just right.
Look at the guy in the back.
Exploding through the other side.
Seems to be controlling the situation. He looks like a viewer just staring on, but oh, look.
Obviously
he knows already what's wrong with the plane. What happened? Listen, keywords here.
The side of the Twin Tower, exploding.
No plane, but he's saying there's a plane.
And then I witnessed both towers collapse, one first and then the second, mostly due to structural failure because the fire was just too intense.
Yeah, man, the fire brought him down, right? Right, Mark? He knew right away.
Precinct, the first precinct, the fire department right here, the 7th truck.
Yo, I don't even see planes hitting it.
Precinct, the first inside the buildings at the top.
That's a plane?
The 7th precinct.
Shit disappeared.
The fire department right here, the 7th truck.
Shit, man, I didn't even notice that.
When those things went down. And God bless, I know there's a lot of guys there that were around there. Hopefully they made it out. What was happening around you in the streets?
I got one more part to show you guys, which is pretty creepy.
From my view, it was a good 15 minutes before the second tower finally collapsed.
Yeah.
And it
relatively orderly evacuate that point out down the stairs.
Stick with me, guys.
He says that, in the building, was there an emergency crew?
Okay, there's a guy directing him, a weird like Men in Black type guy. Watch when he asks him.
What's your role out here?
What's his role?
just standing by right now.
Just standing by.
Well,
That's the CIA controlling the scene of a tactical spell ritual done by something more powerful than the government. It's freaking obvious, man. It's freaking obvious, man. I'm sorry. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. And on a side note, you know, I didn't want to get into it because I didn't want to disrespect. If AIDS and HIV, I know they catch it quick, and there's there's therapies and drugs that can help you live, longer. But how the fuck Eazy-E died? He was fucking bitches all over, fucking women all the time, just like Magic Johnson. But he died from AIDS mad quick. And Bone Thugs always said, he looked very healthy. It just came out of nowhere. But Magic Johnson to this day has still lived. And ironically, his son is gay. Go figure. There's always some kind of ritual behind it. And yeah, so the not all, like, I was researching the number 3. We're gonna get into that as the series progresses about numerology, the power of 313. You know, my girlfriend Mo, she put me on to that, how 13 was always manipulated my whole life, programmed from the start of school. School is where they brainwash us the most. I don't want to sound crazy. It's a good place to learn, to socialize, and to become a person that's good for the earth. But it's really brainwashing because everything we're taught is bullshit. Like, we're taught 13 is an unlucky number. I don't know why. There's no 13th floor in a building. It's unlucky. No, there's a power to it, just like 3. On that note, to end it, is that, look, I was like, okay, the number 3. I'm looking at all the legendary star athletes, superstars, all have a 3 incorporated in their number. Iverson, Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Karl Malone. The list goes on. Check it out, please. It's trippy. Just like the numerologies with 9/11, the 2 into 1, you know, the 911 significance. Just peep it. We're going to end it at 1633. Matt, what's good? Follow me on Instagram, Jonathan_Quest. Jonathan_Quest. That's AN. And SoundCloud.com/JQMusic with a K. And you can purchase my album on Bandcamp.com. Thank you guys. I'll be back. I'm getting better. This is the longest video. And I'll be here tomorrow, man, or later. Take care, guys. Peace.